Okay, and I wanted to ask you one more question. I don't know if you could go into it or not, but obviously, Donald Goines, he got murdered, and it's always been rumors about what happened. Did you ever kind of come to a conclusion of what you think might have happened? Because some people were saying maybe it was a drug related thing, or maybe he wrote about certain people and they didn't like it, or maybe it was the book company, or
Hmm.
because you actually got a chance to talk to the family. So.
Yeah, I have not come to any conclusive determination. I did, I believe, I don't say it to be arrogant or anything, but I think I probably did the deepest dive in the 50 years. October 1974 will be 50 years since he and his wife, common law, but his wife Shirley Saylor, it was a double murder. They were both killed in Highland Park, which is basically a Detroit city that is adjacent. It's got its own municipality, but basically Highland Park and Detroit are the Detroit area. They were murdered together, and in those 50 years since that happened, I did. Not even as deep of a dive as I would like, but I did as deep of a dive as I could, and I think it remained the cold case for a reason. One of them obviously being that 50 years is a long time. There was no DNA technology or anything like that back then, but I did have the opportunity to interview Walter Williams, and Walter is in the book. And Walter was one of his running buddies, one of Mr. Goines' partners in crime, literally, and good friend. And he swears that he knows exactly who killed Mr. Goines because he describes one day that they were playing chess, and he says two tall, like huge oak tree like figures. He said rotten teeth. He described them as what appeared to be junkies themselves, but he said they showed up, two white guys, scraggly hair, and he said that the reaction from Mr. Goines was instant fear. He explained how Mr. Goines said, "Hold on a minute," and he took them and took these two guys into the bathroom and closed the door. And Walter describes kind of just hearing bits and pieces of the conversation, and he's hearing Mr. Goines say, "Well, my family's here right now. Just give me some time." Walter believes it was a drug debt because I believe something like a week or so later, Walter said was when the murder occurred. Now, is that definitive? No, but there's theories, even more than one, like that he was killed over drugs, over a debt he owed. There are people who have a very strong belief that he just got too close to the truth in his novels, and that he was killed for, I guess you might call it a form of snitching, if that's the language that you use, but snitching in the sense that he's writing about lives of actual people who are doing dirt on the street and they didn't like it. Um, there are theories of all kinds, and yeah, it troubles me every time I'm asked the question about the murder itself that I have not gotten any closer in all this time. But it's a murder is a heck of a crime to investigate, and if it's not something that is done in the open brutally, foolishly, which is not how most murders are committed, yeah, there's a lot more involved in tracking a murderer down. Typically that's just how it goes.